Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So today, certain recipients of Social Security will be receiving their checks worth all the way up to $5,108. Plus, we're inching all that much closer to when the next increase for all Social Security beneficiaries will be. So, in today's video, we're going to be covering everything that you need to know. But before we go ahead and dive into it for today, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock or $200 in free cash, pin comment below. I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is, once you click on that link, just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is, once you receive the free stock, it's just sell for what it's worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into it for today. Of course, we are inching all that much closer to when the next Social Security COLA increase announcement will be taking place. Originally, that was actually supposed to be announced today on October 15th, but because the government is still shut down, yes, Republicans and Democrats are not able to reach a deal for either short-term or long-term funding. Unfortunately, that also means a delay for whenever the Bureau of Labor Statistics is able to compile all the inflation numbers for the month of September and release those today on October 15th. So once again, originally today, we were supposed to know what the 2026 COLA increase was going to be. We're supposed to have all those inflation numbers released, but because, of course, we had the government shut down, that also caused a delay in those numbers being released. Now, thankfully, we do have a date now in which we know for sure when the inflation numbers for September will be released, and therefore, we'll also know what the cost of living adjustment is going to be for 2026. That date, of course, is going to be on October 24th, so coming up in just 9 days. So according to AP News, the ongoing government shutdown is delaying the announcement of the annual Social Security cost of living adjustment for tens of millions of beneficiaries. Originally scheduled for Wednesday, the 2026 Social Security COLA announcement will now be October 24th. It is timed to be the September Consumer Price Index, which also has not yet been released. The agency adjusts its benefits every year based on inflation, and the postponement of the announcement is the most recent example of how the government shut down, entering its third week, and with little progress made towards a resolution, has made it more difficult for people to plan out their finances. Projections by the Senior Citizens League and the AARP anticipate a COLA increase of roughly 2.7%. About 70.6 million people, including retirees, disabled people, and children, get Social Security benefits. Even though we have not yet had an official announcement, and we won't have an official announcement for what the next COLA increase is going to be until October 24th, we already have a really good idea, just based on estimates from various people, various organizations. And right now, we have an estimate of either 2.7 or 2.8%. Sure, it could be a little bit lower, and sure, it could be a little bit higher. So maybe 2.6% at the very lowest, maybe 2.9% at the very highest, but more than likely, we're looking at either 2.7% or 2.8%. Again, this is going to be based on how high or how low inflation was for the month of September. Now, they go on here to say that Social Security Administration beneficiaries have voiced concerns that next year's increase will not be enough to counter rising costs. So, for example, Sue Conrad, a 75-year-old retired nurse from La Crosse, Wisconsin, an SSA recipient, recently traveled to the U.S. Capitol with other retiree members of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees Union to lobby for meaningful progress towards gaining health care protections to end the shutdown, as well as changes to Social Security benefits. So she said that she wants lawmakers to change the calculation on how the COLA is determined, since the standard CPI gauge, which includes a market basket of consumer goods and services, does not take into account many costs typical for older Americans. She said, quote, "The issue of how the COLA is determined is flat out wrong because health care is not factored into the CPI," said Conrad, speaking on the front steps of the Longworth House Office building. Now, some lawmakers have proposed legislation that would make SSA use a different index called the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, or CPIE for short, to calculate the cost of living increase. It measures price changes based on the spending patterns of older people on things such as health care, food, and medicine.